Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, another tutorial sewn by Nikki. If you are just joining in on seeing a video for the first time, subscribe below because I walk you through some really good tutorials step by step so that you get to learn how to do the entire project. And what I'm going to be doing from now for the next couple of weeks through the holidays, I am going to help you create small gifts for your friends and family that you can create really quickly. If you have been looking at some of the other tutorials, you've been doing straight lines, you've been doing a little bit of circles here and there, but you should be able to do a few things already. But the idea with this tutorial today and the next few weeks is, what can I make reasonably priced, thought-provoking, and do it quickly for people. We're going to start off with something really simple today. We're going to start off with gift number one, pot holders. Don't go to the 99-cent store. Think of something really good that the person that you know that they like, whether it's, suppose they're a grill master, dad, grandpa, somebody's really good on the grill, somebody who loves plants, succulents, plants, they might love gardening, wine fabric, or you just want to have plain simple holiday patterns. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to make pot holders. Grab your scissors, grab your ruler, and let's get started. So let's take a look. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how I create the pattern for this. Once you start sewing, you actually want to start keeping and saving those patterns because you'll be using them again and again and again. Okay, see this? I love this. It's a file folder, manila file folder. I love creating templates with this and holding on to it because they're thicker than paper, thicker than tissue paper. When I buy patterns in a pack, they drive me crazy to tissue paper. So grab a ruler. Okay, so grab a pen or pencil, whatever you want. I'm going to do it in marker because I want you to be able to see it, but also because I want it to last. Okay, what we're going to do, this pattern right here, this is the size that we're going for. Okay, so we are going for 8 inches. So grab your ruler. Let's create a line. This is so simple. Let's create a line. 8 inches, okay, from the edge over. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go down 9 inches. I didn't like the whole idea of an 8 by 8 exact measurements of a square, so we're going to make this 9 inches going down, and then we're going to connect this line again with the 8 inches. Okay, making sure we have it straight. Good. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to cut this pattern out. Okay, I have this wonderful habit that every time my scissors start to get dull, I just use them as paper scissors. Okay, and so I am cutting out that pattern. These are great, these manila folders. They're sturdy, and then you can write on them. They don't crinkle. You can put them in a file folder. And what I like to do is I like to write on the pattern what it's for. So I have 8 by 9 pot holder. And now I know every time I'm cutting, when I put that away, I have this as a pot holder and I have the size. Okay, so what you're going to do, you need outer fabric. I'm going to put this aside now because I have my pieces cut. Okay, so we need outer fabric, 2 pieces. Okay, I just did the 8 by 9 template for you, so use that template. You need 2 pieces of outer fabric, and then you're going to need 2 pieces same size, 8 by 9 of insulated fleece. Okay, remember, if you've seen my video before that showed you the different types of fleece, this is insulated. Okay, so you want that. And there's a difference inside. You can't see it right here. You can't see it really clearly, but there's like a foil type inside of this material. Okay, so spend some time in the fabric section going through those insulations and those interfaces so that you can learn the difference. Okay, so this is insulated fleece. We want 2 pieces of that, which is the same fabric, which is the same size. And then what we're going to do is you're going to need a little scrap piece of fabric, which is a tab. And this is 2 inches. So 2 inches, and it doesn't really matter. This is by 6. This is a little bit longer than I needed. So you can do 2 by 5. That's fine. Okay. All right. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to take your tab. We're going to take your scrap piece here. We're going to fold it over. Let's do it this way. Fold it over into the middle. Okay. Then what you're going to do is open it back up. Fold the raw edges into the middle. Okay. Right into the middle. And then close it over. And then what I'm going to do is hit this with the iron. Okay. Okay. Right. So now what we want to do is we want to put this in your machine. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew down the left and the right sides of this tab. I'm going to cut this. The goal is, you see, this is what's going to happen. We're going to fold it over. Okay. We don't need it that long. We don't need to waste our time sewing that. Okay. But what we're going to be creating is this tab that's going right onto the pot holder there. Okay. So we're going to top stitch the left and the right sides of this tab. Okay. So go ahead and do that. And I'm sewing on 3.0 today. You can be sure to use coordinating fabric because you will see it. I'm using beige inside with this fabric today here because I wanted you to be able to see it. So I wanted it to pop out for you. Okay. Have my snippers. I told you I love these snippers. Okay, so go ahead, set that tab to the side. Okay. Now what I want you to do is you're going to grab your fabric. So you have your 2 pieces that are 8 by 9. So what you're going to do is put this face down, take one part of the insulated fabric, the insulated fleece, and put it right on top. Okay, you're just layering. Flip this over. Get your second piece of your pretty fabric, the patterned fabric. If you have patterns that go a certain way, be sure that you pay attention to that and place them accordingly so that when you look at them, the patterns are the right way. You don't want, if you look at these wine bottles here, the top of the wine bottles are here at the top, the bottom are at the bottom. Okay? See what happens when I flip it? Same thing, my bottle's at the top, the opening part, the neck part of the bottles, and then we have the bottles on the bottom part. You don't want your fabrics upside down. So you just want to be sure that when you go like this, your fabrics are turned the same way. Your patterns are facing the same way as each other, okay? In this case, my trees go different directions, so it doesn't matter, okay? Okay, so that's what we want there. Okay, grab that second piece of insulated fleece, put it on top. Okay, make sure that you have it all even. What I want you to do now is grab the tab that we already created. Okay, fold it in half. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to stick that tab pretty side in. So the folded piece goes inside. You can, remember, choose the left or the right side, whichever you want to. I'm just going to stick it in here. You should have raw edges facing out. Okay, go ahead and pin that. You're pinning through, you know, 4 layers, actually a few more with the tab. So just push it in there and, you know, hope for the best. Okay, so go ahead and pin in several other places. Be sure to keep it flat so that everything actually stays layered nicely together. All right. Okay, so now it doesn't matter which side you sew from. I'm just going to cut this tip off here. Okay, so it doesn't matter what side you sew from, but what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 pins at the bottom down here. Putting the 2 pins at the bottom down here is going to remind you where you are not sewing. Okay, so what I'm doing, this is going to be the area where we turn this right side out. We're going to sew all the way around this rectangle. Okay, and what you're going to do is leave a 1/4 of an inch. We want a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and I'll show you why later. Okay, so go ahead and sew all the way around. That's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, you're almost done. So hang in there. Start here. I'm not starting at that pin. I'm starting at the pin that's closest to me. Okay, I'm removing the pin. Okay. Remember to back stitch. You want to back stitch because when you turn this right side out, you don't want your stitches coming out. Okay, I'm stopping and turning. Take your time. You're sewing through 4 layers of fabric. Okay. I stopped at the corner, I turned, and I know that I'm doing 1/4 of an inch because my fabric is actually lined right up with the foot. This is the time where if you're using a presser foot, you want to add on a walking foot, maybe, because it depends on your machine, but walking foots are great for handling multi-layers of fabric. I'm getting to the corner where I put that tab, and I'm going to back stitch over it. It just reinforces it, gives it a couple of extra stitches because it's thick there and because someone might hang it. Okay. Going down, we're almost to the end. This is really a really quick 10 or 15-minute project for you to give a gift to someone. Almost down at the end. I'm going to remove this pin. Okay. Here's that opening we want to leave. I'm going to back stitch. Snippers. Okay, go ahead and remove your pins. Remove the pins. The pins really do keep it from shifting because you have so many layers going on right here. Okay, so what we're going to do now to reduce bulk, we're going to go to your corners and you're going to snip off the corners. Okay, snip off those corners. And again, be careful with this part. I recommend just cutting the corner over the tab. You can move that out the way, move the tab out the way and cut there. You know what? Go ahead and cut that tab. Okay. But don't cut any closer because you have that tab inside. What I like to also do is I like to cut around my seams. This helps it so that it doesn't leave a lot of material inside the seam. We're going to be ironing this when we're done, but it helps it so it doesn't look big and bulky. Leave the bottom there. And I'll show you why in just a moment when we turn this inside out. Okay. Okay, so now all raw edges are showing, but we've trimmed them. They look good. Okay. go ahead and open up that pot holder. So you have your fleece there and you have your two pretty sides right there. Put your fingers in there and turn this right side out. Okay. Okay, and now what you want to do is you want to get something to poke out those corners. So, I've told you before, I love chopsticks. They're free at the Chinese restaurant. You don't have to pay for them in Hobby Lobby. And they get the job done. So, you can use your fingers, but the chopsticks help get to the corner. I'm riding the chopstick along the edge as well, because I want to make sure that even though we cut those seams there, I want to make sure that that fabric there is not bulking up. Okay, poking here, poking out. And now we get to the part where the tab is at. Okay, see that tab coming out? That tab is out, and we cut that area where that extra fabric was for the tab too, so that's not even bulky there anymore. Okay, all right. All right, this is the bottom, and this is why we left it with that bulk on the bottom, that extra 1/4 inch seam, because look, it folded itself over. Look, you really don't even have to do anything. You don't have to fight to turn it under, but that's where it is. It formed for itself. It formed the closure for itself. Look at that. So get your iron right now, and let's iron down your edging, iron down those seams. Ironing makes everything look great, but not only that, it helps you when you put it through the machine for top stitching. It thins out your fabric that's inside, and it makes it look so professional and pretty. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to put finishing touches on this. Two things we're going to do. Start at the beginning of that closure, the beginning of that area for the closure. And we're going to sew all the way around. Okay, matter of fact, no, start in the corner. Start in the corner, go all the way across, all the way around, and stop at this bottom. Okay, do not take it out the machine though. I want to show you something. Okay, the reason I don't want you to take it out the machine is because we're going to continue with that same stitch, and we're going to sew a diagonal line across, because we don't want this fabric to shift when it goes in the washer machine. So creating that X on top, it helps keep the fabric in place that's inside, that insulated fabric. It gives it a nice design as well, but what it's going to do is keep this in place, okay, when you wash it. So you know what, right now before you sew, let's do this. Get your ruler. And from side to side, from corner to corner, we did this with the bowl holders, okay? What we're going to do is mark. I love this tool because I don't have to wipe away the chalk. It leaves the line without leaving any marks on the fabric. If you don't have this, go ahead and get a piece of chalk, okay? And mark it, and mark your fabric, okay? Look. Okay, it created a line there. So I know once I sew all the way around, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to sew over this line. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm creating another X. Okay, I am putting a little bit of pressure because I want to see that line. Okay, all right. Now we're going to close up this pot holder. We're going to put some pretty top stitching. 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Okay, here we go. Remember the back stitch. And this is going to be the end of you having a beautiful gift for someone. If you need to, take your time. I'm at that corner. I left my needle down. I'm pivoting. I'm going around. My material was flat because we ironed it. Well, we did two things. We cut that bulk from inside. We cut that extra fabric around the seams. And not only that, we ironed it to make it easy. Okay? People don't realize it, but don't take the easy way out. Go ahead and iron, because helps make your product look good. If you wanted to, if you had some name tags, you can actually stick name tags inside of your potholder. Anything that's going in the microwave, you do not put a tag on. Look, I'm down at that corner. Okay, so here it is where we did the line. I'm back down at the corner. I'm stopping at the corner. I'm not removing the potholder. The needle is down. All I'm doing is turning this around because I want to sew a straight line that we created with the marking tool. So I just rotated, I pivoted and rotated, and now I'm sewing down that line. I know it's going to be straight because I marked it with the ruler. Okay, I'm back stitching, and now I'm going to remove the potholder. Getting snippets. We'll clip these stragglies in a moment. Now we're going to the other line that we created here, and we're sewing from that corner to this corner. Okay. And then you're going to be done. Okay. I'm back stitching, of course. Almost done. And done. You've just spent about 10 minutes making a quick and easy gift for someone that you can personalize. See that? I'm just cutting off with my snippers. I'm cutting off those extra strands of thread, which we want to do. Please don't give anybody a gift with strands on it. Look at that. And we have a beautiful potholder. So nice and thick. So you see, go ahead, make a few. Does somebody like wine bottles? Someone, your neighbor, you just want to give them Christmas ones? Someone like plants? Is their kitchen decorated with cactus? The griller, someone who loves to grill. Okay, so that's all for another video, another tutorial. Subscribe below. I'm going to be doing a few quick tutorials for the next few weeks until Christmas. I'm going to help you give some people some pretty cool gifts. Okay, leave comments below if you have questions, if you don't know how to do something, or if you want to see a certain tutorial. But come back and join me for another video. That's all for now. Bye.